Well, for the second time this season, Miguel Cabrera has been voted the American League's Player of the Week, and for good reason. A .407 average, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs in 6 games last week. So congratulations to Miguel Cabrera. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow and get a free small order of curly fries. We'll check out the starting lineup for the Oakland Athletics tonight. It is presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers, and it'll be Coco Crisp leading it off in center field. Seth Smith is in left, followed by Josh Reddick, the right fielder. Yoenis Cespedes, the DH. Brandon Moss at first base. Stephen Drew, the shortstop, and a bottom 3 of Donaldson, Kataris, and Pennington. Max Scherzer, the starting pitcher tonight. He is presented by Soaring Eagle Casino.
And Max has been unbelievable lately, and one of the reasons why he's been so good, first pitch strikes, not walking a whole lot of people. And when Max is able to get ahead of you, he has that legitimate swing and miss pitch. That would be that mid-90s fastball.
And so he is all set to go to work. So are we. Here's the first pitch of the ball game tonight, and it's a strike called on Coco Crisp. A cool, crisp evening here in the Motor City. 56 degrees at game time. Here is Scherzer's 0-1, and it's a strike called on the outer edge. 0-2 the count. Crisp is batting .252, and he takes inside 1 ball 2 strikes.
He's the one guy that Max must keep off the base paths. He's the guy that makes their entire lineup go. 34 steals for Coco Crisp. He's only been caught 4 times this year.
Now Scherzer's 1-2. It is line foul down the right field line. Back into the seats. Well, Crisp has a little bit of power. 10 home runs. As Rod mentioned, he will steal some bases, so keep this guy off the base paths. And he's had some good numbers career against Detroit, over 300. Swing and a miss, down he goes. And Scherzer has his first strikeout.
Let's set the Tigers defensive alignment for you this evening. You have Quentin Berry getting another start in left field. Jackson back in center. Dirks moves over to right. Fielder Infante Peralta Cabrera in the infield. And Gerald Laird is behind the plate. Avila still having some issues with his jaw after that collision with Prince Fielder in Cleveland.
Bosch getting the night off. Dirks is starting in right here this evening. And Smith looks at a strike 0-1. Bit of a different look to Jim Leyland's outfield this evening. Seth Smith is batting .246, but 6 for 12 this year against Detroit pitching. A breaking ball missing high, 1 ball 1 strike. Really up and down this lineup. The A's do not have many high batting averages. They strike out a lot, but they also hit a lot of home runs.
171 homers for Bob Melvin's team.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fouled back out of play, 1-2.
Well, they strike out a lot, the most in the majors with 1,232, and the Tigers, well, they strike out a lot as well.
That Detroit pitching staff does indeed rack up a lot of punch outs, and Scherzer is the king of the hill when it comes to that. Here's the 1-2, and it missed outside. 2 balls 2 strikes. Smith batting with 1 out, nobody on, just underway. The start of a series here against the A's and a 10-game homestand for Detroit. Their final homestand of the regular season here in 2012. Now the 2-2. Little pop up, back is short, and Berry will come in to make the play. 2 gone. Shallow left center field. And Scherzer has retired the first 2 men he has faced.
Apparently Jim Leyland felt like Berry better suited for left field instead of right field. That's why Dirks is over there. Dirks can play all 3 outfield positions. I'm sure Berry can as well.
Cue in the lineup again here this evening, batting in the 2 slot for Detroit. Here is Josh Reddick. And he shoots one back up the middle into center field. Not hit all that hard, but it gets into center for a 2-out hit. Reddick and his OPS taking a dive in the second half, as has the average. We saw him in Oakland back in May. He was tearing it up.
He was getting some all-star consideration because of the first half that he had.
So here is Yoenis Cespedes. It's our first look at Mr. Cespedes, batting .290. Very highly sought after by many clubs in the offseason. The A's of all team winded up getting Cespedes, which I think came as a surprise.
Well, Billy Beane, he usually doesn't go out there on the free agent market very often. So it speaks volumes to the skill set that Cespedes has, that he is in an Oakland uniform.
19 home runs, hits for power. He's knocked in 71. Had a wrist problem when the Tigers played the A's back in May, so he didn't get a chance to see him then. Got that wide open stance. And Max will throw back to first base.
Cespedes, when he played on that Cuban national team, they only played 90 games a year, and they had 2 days off per week. So he's playing more baseball this year than he has ever played in his life.
And the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes.
Which means Bob Melvin's going to have to watch him very closely down the stretch. Give him a day off to DH, which he's doing today.
Well, when you sign a player like Cespedes, there is a bit of a gamble involved with all the money that it took to get him, and you haven't seen him play against big league competition. But he has answered the bell. The 2-0. Outside, 3 balls, no strikes.
Every single general manager or farm director who went down to the Dominican Republic to watch Cespedes perform when he was auditioning for a major league gig, they came away with, this guy's unbelievable. Really nice talent.
He's taking on 3-0, and it's ball 4. And so that'll put 2 aboard for the Athletics with 2 outs. First walk of the game for Max. And Brandon Moss will bat. Moss has hit 18 home runs this year. That's a career high. 6 homers in his last 15 games. We mentioned the A's love to hit the long ball. In fact, they passed last year's total in home runs at the All-Star break this year, which is kind of stunning. It's ball 1 inside. Moss was signed to a minor league deal last November. Trying to pick up a couple of Athletics. He's got Reddick at second base, Cespedes at first. Here's the 1-0. Missed it outside. 2 balls and no strikes. And after a couple of quick outs to start this game, Max has given up a single, walked a batter, and now gone 2-0. Swinging 2-0, and he grounds it foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. Scherzer has won 6 consecutive decisions, and what he has done in the second half has really opened up a lot of eyes. And I think, Rod, for the most part, people are starting to say, well, this is what we expected that Max could do.
Well, he has put himself in the Cy Young conversation. He is finally able to get to a really nice balanced spot in his delivery, which means his arm is always catching up, and the balls always are down in the strike zone.
There's a ground ball, base hit right field. Here comes Reddick grounding third. They're going to send him home. The throw from Dirks cut off. It's an RBI single for Brandon Moss in a 2-out run.
Yeah, this Oakland Athletics team just came off of a very grueling series against the Baltimore Orioles, and they're playing some really good baseball. We've talked about the fact that they could pitch, and they also know how good Max has been, and they have gotten an early lead here against one of your better second half performing pitchers in all of baseball.
2 hits and a walk following the first 2 retired, and it's 1-0 in favor of the A's. That'll bring up Stephen Drew. Josh Reddick comes around to score the game's first run. Drew looks at a strike, 0-1. Athletics picked him up in an August 20th trade with Arizona. Gave up a minor league infielder to get Drew.
They were looking for a shortstop at the trade deadline, but they couldn't find one.
And he looks at a ball. 1 strike.
As a matter of fact, they thought they had a deal for Hanley Ramirez, who eventually went to the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that's only because the Dodgers picked up all of Ramirez's salary. The A's weren't going to do that.
No, salary-wise, they have typically been toward the bottom of the league. Now the 1-1. That's in there for a strike. 1-2. Drew snapped an 0 for 16 with a home run on Saturday night. Trying to add to the lead here for the Athletics. They score a run and the RBI hit by Moss. And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Drew is out of there, and the A's settle for one. We go to the bottom of the first.
Barry, the number 2 hole, hoping to get a little speed up there, behind Austin as well, just to try something, change it up a little bit. But Austin Jackson is a huge key for us. He's had a big year. He's an excellent player, on his way, in my opinion, to being really a great player.
Thoughts of Jim Leyland on his big boy starting lineup tonight. You see the added speed at the top with Barry. You've got your 2 big guns in the middle with Fielder and Cabrera, and the Tiger bottom 3, Peralta and Fonte and Laird in the ball game tonight. And the Tigers hitting in the bottom of the first with Austin Jackson leading it off. And AJ trying to get something going here. Jackson batting .304. It's fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson had 10 hits on the trip. As you know, he also turned his ankle trying to make a leaping play against the wall in Cleveland. Came back to the lineup yesterday in that makeup game in Chicago. That missed inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. A.J. Griffin on the hill, 24 years of age. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and a bender that's in there for a strike. 2-2.
We'll see that pitch tonight quite often against a lot of these right-handers and the left-handed batters for that matter.
Right back to the mound, off the glove of Griffin. Can't find it. He'll have no play, and Jackson is aboard. Just couldn't hold on to it.
Nice break here for Detroit. And hopefully they can get Austin around the touch home plate as well to even the score. Griffin once the ball went in the glove and couldn't find it once he barehanded it and picked it up. Austin Jackson was crossing that bag at first base.
So the Tigers get the leadoff man on. That'll bring up Quentin Berry now. He's got a run in the first. Tigers trying to answer. Berry batting in the 2 slot hits 269. And he shoots one into right field, a base hit. Jackson rounding the bag at second. He's going to third, and he is in there standing up. Quentin Berry with a base hit, and the Tigers have him at first and third.
There was a time this year when Jackson was injured and Q was playing every single day. The Tigers were playing some of their best baseball when Jackson got back. Quentin gets a fastball up. He's trying to pull the ball in that hole between first and second because the first baseman holding Jackson on, and that's how you go first to third. That is picture perfect right there.
So just as Jim Leyland planned it and hoped for tonight, he gets a couple of base hits from the top 2 in the lineup and a Quentin Berry clap to go with it.
Would not mind seeing Quentin steal second base here. You know the Tigers have hit into a lot of double plays this year, and yes, Miguel has hit into quite a few himself.
Cabrera batting .330, leads the American League in hitting, 1 percentage point better than Mike Trout at .329.
Yeah, player of the month in the month of August, in the first week of September. Player of the week again.
1 strike on Miguel Cabrera. He's hit safely now in his last 7 consecutive games. Jackson at third, Berry at first. Slow breaking ball. That's the pitch that we were told to expect tonight, just 69 miles an hour.
That's under the speed limit. And the Tigers do know that Griffin's going to be around the plate all night long. He's only walked 11 batters in 65 innings pitched this year.
It'll bounce in and blocked by Kataris, the catcher tonight for the A's.
He will get himself into trouble if he continues to show that pitch to Miguel Cabrera too often this evening.
Griffin goes 6'5", 230 out of El Cajon, California. And the 1-2. Grounded foul. Miguel now with 123 RBIs. Had himself a good trip. 13 hits on that road trip. Early scoring chance for the Tigers. They try and answer. And the 1-2 in the air, right center field. Reddick coming over. Runner will tag and score. It's an RBI for Miguel Cabrera. 1-1 ball game. Check out the numbers on A.J. Griffin, presented tonight by Fox Toyota of Rochester Hills.
One of 4 rookies in the starting rotation for Bob Melvin's Oakland Athletics, and he's not pitching like a rookie. He has not lost a game in his major league career. He has a 1.94 ERA. He has struck out 53, and he keeps the ball in the ballpark for the most part. He's only given up 5 big flies.
So here is Prince Fielder. Cabrera gets his 124th RBI. And Berry will draw a throw. Quentin still 19 for 19 in that category.
If he decides to run here, that might take the bat out of Prince Fielder's hands.
Popped up. Right side of the infield. Who wants it? Pennington. And there are 2 gone.
And what I mean by that, had Q been successful at stealing his 20th bag of the year, Bob Melvin may have entertained the thought of simply intentionally walking Cabrera. Here's Oakland's defense. They have Smith in left, Crisp is in center, Reddick in right, Moss, Pennington, Drew, Donaldson round out the infield, and Kataris, George Kataris, is behind the plate.
Delman Young lines one to center field. Coco Crisp for the final out. Interesting. Tigers get a run though. Tie it up. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. And by Butterball Sausage. All the flavor of regular smoked sausage with 65% less fat. Back here at the ballpark in a 1-1 ball game. Each team getting a run in the first inning. 1 run on 2 hits for both clubs. Josh Donaldson will lead it off. Cabrera knocked in the Detroit run. Scherzer brings it home and it's swung out and missed. Donaldson, Gutierrez, and Pennington here in the Oakland second. 238 average for Donaldson. Takes a ball high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Max walked 1 in the first, gave up a couple of hits. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him in chase. 3 strikeouts already for Scherzer.
One of the pitches that has allowed Max to get as good as he has been the second half of the year has been the slider and also the changeup. This is how he grips that slide piece. And you just saw it on that pitch to Donaldson for strike 3. It's been a weapon for Max. And not only that pitch, but his changeup fades down and away from the left-handers. He also has one, which is a strikeout pitch, that just kind of goes straight down in the strike zone. So that's 2 of the reasons why Max has really elevated his game.
George Gutierrez, the catcher out of the Milwaukee system. This is a roster that has been remade by the Athletics. They got Gutierrez from Milwaukee on July the 29th.
Billy Beane is something, isn't he?
He is, man. He just he's not afraid to change. Here's the 2-0. That's in there, 2-1.
I mean, they traded Kirk Suzuki to the Washington Nationals, and he was their starting catcher. And they had the best pitching staff in the majors at the time.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Foul straight back. 2-2 on Gutierrez.
Most general managers would have been afraid of disrupting something, but apparently Billy Beane has a lot of faith in his young kids in the pitching staff.
Well, all the disrupting has been a good thing, I suppose. Here's the 2-2 again, and it's swung out and missed. Scherzer has fanned 4 already in this game. By the way, tonight this game is available in high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Xfinity from Comcast.
Well, strikeouts nothing do as far as Max is concerned against Oakland. He had 9 strikeouts against them back out west in a game in May.
Here is Pennington. Ball 1 to the second baseman, Cliff Pennington. And he looks at a ball outside, 2-0.
Pennington was their shortstop when we saw them in May. But now playing second base with Drew playing shortstop.
Pennington had started the previous 439 games at that shortstop position before being bumped over. Swing and a miss, 2-1. Scherzer gave up a run in the first, but now looking for a 1-2-3 second. And the 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
He has thrown 2 fastballs, one at 93, the next one at 94, right by Pennington. Here comes another one.
The 2-2 pitch is off the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Pennington. He's been relatively hot, 366 over his last 13 contests. Trying to get it back up to the top. Coco Chris. And he missed it outside. That's ball 4, 2-out walk. Second walk given up by Scherzer. 38 pitches now thrown by Max.
Oakland as a team has stolen 115 bases this year, and their ratio is pretty good. Their percentage, I should say. They've only been caught 29 times. Pennington has 15 of those, and with 2 outs. And more than likely, he's going to try to get himself down into scoring position.
Let's see what Mac can do against Chris. Scherzer struck him out to start the ball game. One of the 4 that he's picked up so far. Swing and a miss.
Bob Melvin was the manager in Arizona and Scherzer came up as a rookie, so he knew at that time that Scherzer didn't have a very quick move, nor was he very quick at getting the ball to home plate. But Scherzer has gotten better.
Max worked diligently on his move during spring training this year. Really, throughout the course of the regular season, you don't have an opportunity to work on your move, so he did a lot of that in spring training.
Max, first couple of years in a Tigers uniform, the opposition, the guys that could run, they ran at will. But they have not done that lately.
The 0-1. Little pop-up, slicing behind third, foul. He almost dumped that thing in there down the third base line. 0-2 on Crisp. Well, Coco came in 2 for 3 career against Max. Former Cleveland Indian, also played with Boston. 4 years with the Indians, as a matter of fact. Terrific defensive outfielder. And the 0-2. High, 1-2. I've always felt that Crisp is kind of one of those under the radar guys that really doesn't draw a lot of attention, but you look up at the end of the year, Rod, and his numbers are pretty good.
Bob Melvin, their manager, told me last year that he is a better player than even he thought until managing the Oakland A's. He's the one that makes the team go. You brought up the fact that he can really play some center field, steals a lot of bases. They just have to keep him healthy.
Yeah, that's been the key. And now time given to Crisp.
Of course, all center fielders these days are playing in the shadow of that young kid out west in Los Angeles, Mike Trout.
One and 2 on Coco Crisp. That'll bounce in. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Explain again, we've talked about this a few times, why Crisp buries his chin into that front shoulder up there.
Well, it helps him get his head upright in a position where both eyes are focused on the pitcher. And by doing so, it just allows him to get in a really good position. Both eyes are focused on Max. You can see the baseball a little bit better coming out of his hand.
And another toss back to first. Pennington back in there. 2-out walk to the number 9 hitter Pennington. He's got a run in the top of the first. Tigers answered with 1 in the bottom of the first. Runner goes, and it's line foul down the right field line. So Pennington was on the move, but he'll go back. A familiar face in a sling down there in the Oakland dugout. Just had shoulder surgery just a few days ago. He apparently has been going at it with Cabby.
Who doesn't?
Good-natured jousting. Inge done for the year, and before he went on the disabled list with the shoulder surgery, he was having a big year. Here's a line drive caught by the second baseman Infante, and the inning is over. No runs, a walk, 1 left.
real big curveball. He'll go from 83 to 69 miles an hour with that pitch. And then when he gets hitters looking for that pitch, he simply spots his fastball very well up in the zone, down in the zone. He goes in, he goes out. And that's one of the reasons why he is off to a 6-0 start and a sub-2 ERA.
And Griffin facing Andy Dirks to lead things off here in the second. Dirks, Peralta, and Fonte. Griffin, in some ways, has really come out of nowhere. He wasn't even in Major League camp this year. The 1-1 is a ball low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Started the year at Double-A, went to Triple-A, and had good numbers down there before being elevated to the big leagues. Dirks fouls it off. 2-2. He goes 6'5", 230, and native of El Cajon, California. Fouled away. The curveball that he throws, we're told he throws it with one finger. The middle finger is on the ball, and many times you'll see pitchers use both fingers, index finger and the middle finger, snap off that curve. That one breaks low and inside. 3-2 now the count on Dirks.
See if we can get a look of that in slow motion.
Now the full count pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 gone. Well, the Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on A.J. Griffin. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you. He's only the second pitcher to be undefeated with a sub 2.00 ERA after his first 11 big league starts.
Rare company. Jared Weaver also did that back in 2006.
Jared Weaver got off to that ridiculous start that year.
You saw a shot there of Kurt Young, who was the pitching coach for the Oakland A's. He spent 1 year in Boston, and of course Francona got fired, and a lot of that staff got let go. But Billy Beane jumped at the opportunity to get Kurt Young back. He has now spent 28 years in their organization, 12 as a player, the other as a pitching coach.
Here's the 2-0. Johnny fouls it away. 2 balls and 1 strike.
As a matter of fact, from 2004 to 2010, the Oakland A's had the best ERA in the majors at just 4.03 under Kurt Young. You remember Hudson, Zito, Mulder?
They were pretty good.
Cahill, Bailey. You remember those guys, don't you?
I remember them. Yep.
Kurt Young had all of them.
Born in Saginaw, Kurt Young. 3-1 pitch, hammered in the air to right field and hit well. Reddick going back to the track, to the wall, and gone. An opposite field home run for Johnny Peralta. Boy, did he need that. That snaps an 0 for 11.
Pretty swing here by Johnny Peralta, and it's only the 6th home run that A.J. Griffin has given up this year. He gets the foot up, he gets it back down, the weight transfer, the bat speed comes through the zone, and boy, did he barrel that one up.
Johnny's 12th of the year gives the Tigers a 2-1 lead. It's also his 59th RBI of the season. That's in the air to left field. Smith under it. That's out number 2.
And take one more look at the Peralta home run.
Wind appears to be blowing out to left field. That ball cut right through it and sailed out to right. There's Gerald Laird. Ball inside to Gerald. 2 out of 11 on the road trip, playing tonight in place of Alex Avila, who has not been cleared medically to play yet. The 1-0. Breaks low, but in for a strike. 1-1.
All those foul tips Avila's taken off the chops the last couple of years. It has taken a right elbow of Prince Fielder to knock him out of action.
Slow bender drops in. 1-2. I doubt Darren Downs is warming up to come in the game. Getting some work into the bullpen. There's a ground ball back up the middle. Drew with a diving play to his feet. Quick throw. Safe at first base. Infield hit for Gerald Laird.
It's nice range here by Drew, who is still getting over the ankle injury he had when he was playing for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He gets there, but he doesn't have a very strong arm. And because he doesn't have the kind of strength in the arm that a lot of the shortstops have in the American League, that allows G Money to beat it out.
On a bang-bang play, and there is strike one to Austin Jackson.
What was Eckstein's first name?
David Eckstein?
He's got a little Eckstein in him when he throws that ball across the diamond. A little short arm.
David used to look like he was launching a grenade every time he threw it.
And he got that batter just by one step every single time.
But he knew how to position himself.
Smart player.
He'll get to it quickly. AJ had a single, scored a run back in the first inning. 93 runs scored now for Jackson. That one missed outside, 1-2. And when Jackson scores a run, usually good things happen. 48-21. Fouled back to the screen, 1-2. The count remains on AJ. Griffin came in giving up just one earned run in 15 innings in the month of September. The Tigers, though, have gotten to him for a couple of runs already in this game. That ball missed high, 2-2.
Second half of the season, the Tigers have been outstanding right here in this ballpark. They has averaged about 5 runs per game. Not so much on the road, but when they get here, they get after it.
Little bounce in, now all of a sudden from 0-2 we go to 3-2. Berry would be next. Foul back. Laird was on the move on that 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. 25 pitches now thrown by Griffin in this inning. After a 13 pitch first frame. Little pop up towards second base and hauled in by Pennington. Inning is over. Tigers take the lead on the Peralta homer, and you're watching Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. warming up to come into this ball game and not just getting some work in. Max Scherzer will not come out for the third inning. So when we get some information on what has happened to Max, we'll pass it along. But right now it's a Wallside Windows pitching change.
Well, Bob Melvin had 7 left-handed bats in his lineup going out there today against Max Scherzer. So the likely candidate was to bring a left-hander out of the bullpen, and that would be Darren Downs pitching in his 16th game, and he's done well since coming up to the from the minor leagues. His ERA at 2.25.
Well, sometimes you could tell if a pitcher just doesn't look right, but for Max coming off the hill after the last half inning, everything looks okay. Walked into the dugout. He was talking to his catcher Gerald Laird for a spell, and it didn't look like there was a problem. But the Tigers got Darren Downs warmed up, and so he'll take over here in the third. So again, once we find out why Downs is in this game, we'll certainly pass it along. But right now the Tigers with a 2-1 lead. And Downs here in the third will face Smith, Reddick, and Cespedes.
And while we have a moment, let me remind you that every game counts. And Monday, September 24th, the Tigers battle the Kansas City Royals at 7:05. Tickets are still available. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Well, of course, the Athletics lineup is loaded with lefties here tonight. So Downs, the left-hander, will come in and try and neutralize them now. Smith, Reddick, Cespedes, 2, 3, and 4 in Melvin's lineup this evening. Seth Smith flied out his first time up, 0 for 1. Way outside from Downs. 1 ball to no strikes. Darren's last appearance September the 3rd against Cleveland. A long time ago. That's in there for a strike. 1-1. Downs for a while was the left-hander that Jim Leyland was going to middle and late in games, but Phil Koch has reassumed that role for Detroit. Sales low and away, 2-1.
He had other options. He could have gone to Drew Smyly. Drew Smyly did pitch a couple of innings just a couple of days ago, but he ought to be good to go tonight.
Yeah, he is. In fact, Leland said before the game just Albuquerque and Dotel not available this evening. The 2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Tigers 2 runs, 4 hits. Athletics a run on 2 hits. The White Sox play in KC a little bit later on. And that's in there, 3-2. Smith, a former Colorado Rocky, spent 5 years with the Rocks over in the National League. Came over in a January trade. And he taps that one foul. Scherzer gave up a run in the first on a single, a walk, and a base hit. He walked a man in the second, but picked up 2 strikeouts and had struck out 4 before departing. Here's the 3-2. Ground ball to short. Johnny had him played perfectly. And Smith is up. 1 gone. While we have a chance, back to the studio we go. Here's Mickey York. All right, Mickey, thank you. And we look forward to the updates on that game without question. Here's Reddick. Ball 1 high. So Leland now is going to have to piece this one together from the 3rd inning on, with Scherzer departing after 2. The 1-0 pitch. 2-0 the count on Josh Reddick.
He doesn't have any Max Scherzers out there in that bullpen, but with the rosters expanding in September, there are a lot of options for Jim.
And the 2-0. Full foul.
Let's just hope Max is okay.
Is that camera all right? It's an expensive piece of equipment there.
He must have insurance on it. He's smiling.
There's the ball low. 3-1.
Needed a new one anyway.
Let's see what happened here. Oh, direct hit. And there's a walk. Downs with the base on balls, and Reddick is aboard. Well, if you're keeping track of what the White Sox and the Tigers have left, and of course the Tigers come in 3 back in the Central Division, here's what Chicago has left, and of course the Tigers on the right.
Well, Chicago still has to go to Los Angeles, and that's on the road trip that they're on right now, and they also are expecting a visit from the Tampa Bay Rays, and we know about that staff.
.16 to go, counting tonight. And plenty of time for the Tigers.
Speaking of tough schedules, have you seen Oakland's remaining schedule yet?
Oh, this trip alone is going to be tough for them. Popped up right side of the infield. Fielder calling for it, but now Infante says, I'll take it, and he does.
Their road trip is a monster.
Well, they're going to earn it, aren't they? Detroit, on to the Yankees, on to Texas, and they'll close with Texas.
And it's a good bet they might see King Felix when they go to Seattle or at home.
They did beat him up last time, though.
They did.
No days off for really both of these teams down the stretch. Here's Brandon Moss. He knocked in a run his first time up. All of a sudden, Texas's lead in the American League West not quite as comfy as it used to be. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike on Moss. Getting word now that Scherzer left the game with right shoulder fatigue.
They say he will have an MRI tonight, so we'll get more to you when we get it.
Boy, that is not good news, and hopefully it is not too serious for Max, for as dominant as he has been and important as he has been to the rotation for Detroit. One more obstacle for the Tigers to overcome. Ball low, 1 ball, 1 strike on Brandon Moss. The 18 homers he has hit this year is a career high. We mentioned these A's love to hit the long ball. And they've had a lot of walk-off wins this year as well. 13 walk-offs. So it's just been one of those seasons that every now and then you see it. It's such a magical season. They've won a lot of games late. They've had some great pitching, but really it's not a lineup that overly scares you when you look at it.
They got a staff full of big league players, former big league players. And when you have a staff full of former big league players, they've been there, they've done that, and they've got these kids believing in themselves.
Soft line drive to center. That's a base hit. And he'll try and get him to third base. Reddick dives in. And Moss hits himself his 2nd hit of the game.
Bob Melvin played in the big leagues. Chili Davis in the big leagues. Kurt Young, their pitching coach. Mike Gallego, their third base coach. Just about everybody on their staff has been there.
Here's Stephen Drew now trying to come up with a 2-out hit and tie this game. The tying run at third base. Drew, a strikeout victim back in the first, one of the 4 punch-outs that Scherzer had before leaving. And Downs delivers a strike. 0-1. Well, the Tigers have gotten great work out of the back end of the bullpen. Now they're leaning on guys to get them through the middle and the early parts of this game to the back end of the pen. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Stephen Drew. First and third. Reddick and Moss. And the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Downs comes back to leave a couple. Still 2-1 Detroit.
Around Major League Baseball, and of course honoring him here before the game, Miguel Cabrera is the award winner for the Detroit Tigers, and then he goes in a pool with nominees from all over Major League Baseball. They will select a finalist and a winner that will be announced at the World Series. So a big honor for Miguel Cabrera, and also important to remember Roberto Clemente as well.
All right, Shannon, thanks. And the Tigers have a 2-1 lead with Berry leading it off here in the bottom of the third. And before the game today, Miguel Cabrera.
Miguel being honored for his work in the community relations work.
Sportsmanship on and off the field, and Cabrera, a worthy recipient of that nomination.
It's a wonderful honor for Miguel Cabrera.
Berry and then Cabrera and Fielder here in the Tigers third. 2-1 is our score. Tigers have the lead. And Quinton looks at a ball inside. 1-2 the count. Cabby waiting on deck. Here's the 1-2. Rolled foul.
When we left here a couple of weeks ago, everybody had T-shirts on and short pants and dressed appropriately. And today, everybody's got jackets and caps, all bundled up.
Yeah, they're still dressed appropriately, but for the cooler weather, 58 degrees right now. Got to keep the little ones bundled up, too. Slow tap, second base. Gonna have to hurry. Quick throw is in time. And a nice barehanded play by Cliff Pennington. One out. Here's our Mazda scouting report on Miguel Cabrera. And here's what Jim Leland had to say about Miguel and the MVP. I would be shocked if he's not the MVP. It would blow my mind, but I don't have any votes. I don't want to tick off the guys that do vote, so I don't want to get into it, but it's clear that his skipper believes he should be the MVP.
I'm right there with Jim. I believe he should be the MVP as well.
And Cabrera had a sac fly to knock in a run in the first inning. Well, if what he did in Cleveland the other night doesn't convince you, the 3-run homer that he hit to bring the Tigers back, yes, they did lose the game, but just another one of those clutch hits late in the game. He's had so many of those this year. And his numbers speak for themselves.
His overall body of work for the last 9 years. 100 RBIs every year.
There's that breaking ball that drops in 2-1.
That's the second time he's thrown one at 69 miles an hour to Miguel Cabrera. He's the only one he's thrown 1-2 at that speed limit.
Swing and a miss. Came back with a fastball that time. 2-2.
That 91 pitch right there after 69 must have looked like it was about 200 miles an hour. But hitters that are as gifted as Miguel Cabrera, you can't give him the same look. And from at bat to at bat, pitch to pitch, you have to continue to change.
Another curve that's fouled back.
I guess the theory behind that real slow breaking ball for Griffin, it's not so much that he wants to strike out, but if Miguel's going to hit the ball out of the ballpark, he's going to have to do it on all his strength. And Griffin's not going to help him out at all.
Well, Miguel doesn't need any help. We've seen that over and over. See what he gets here on 2-2. Foul tip and unable to hold on to it. Gutierrez had it pop out of his glove. 2-2 the count stays on Miguel. Prince Fielder waiting on deck. Cabrera picked up his 124th RBI back in the first inning. Fouled away. A couple of years ago, Cabrera, many thought, should have won the MVP over Josh Hamilton, who ended up winning it for the Texas Rangers. This season, his main competition, you would think, is Mike Trout, the rookie in Anaheim, who's had a fabulous season in his own right. There's a drive deep to left field, way back, and Cabrera makes another case for MVP.
I said it after his very first at-bat. If Griffin continued to throw that pitch to Miguel, then Miguel was going to hurt him, and he did hurt him. You just can't continue to throw hitters the caliber of Cabrera the same pitch and expect to get them out.
This thing was a bomb.
Gifted. Truly gifted.
Muscled that one out himself. 3-1 Detroit. Ball one high to Prince Fielder. Tigers have put up 3 runs on a guy, Griffin, that had given up just 1 earned run in the month of September. Little bouncing ball left side of the infield. Third baseman Donaldson cuts it off. Prince is out, 2 away. So 2 more RBIs tonight for Cabrera. It's going to bring up Delman Young. Delman hit a line drive to center field his first time up. He is 0 for 1. Waves right through a letter high fastball there. 0-1.
He loves that first pitch. It really doesn't matter where it's at. It could be up, it could be down, it could be a breaking ball. If it's close, he's hacking.
Hacking again. 0-2. I want to say there was a stretch midway through this season where he got a little bit more patience.
Month of June.
Yeah.
Batting average perked up too in the month of June. Started to hit the ball the other way. Wasn't swinging as much at first pitch strikes. He was working some counts. But he's back up to 42% swinging at that first pitch on the year.
Here's the 0-2. Missed it high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Delman hit just 222 on the trip, although he did knock in 3 in yesterday's loss in Chicago. And it's low and away. 2-2. Dirk's waiting on deck. Swing and a miss on the slow breaking ball. Inning over. Tigers get another run though. Miguel Cabrera does it again. Another reason why he feels he's the MVP. So do we. Arby's. Try Arby's new hot turkey roasters. It's the greatest thing since sliced roast beef. And by AT DET, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Well, Miguel Cabrera's done it again. He's given the Tigers a 3-1 lead with a solo home run. His 39th homer of the year. And Darren Downs back to the hill. And a strike called on the leadoff man, Josh Donaldson. Here's the 0-1. Bouncing in and hit it. Donaldson's aboard to lead things off.
Hey fans, the Tigers are looking for new or gently used baseball or softball equipment. Bring your gloves, bats, balls to Comerica Park's Gate A this Saturday from 4 p.m. through the end of the second inning. Game tickets not necessary to donate items. All donations will benefit the Detroit Tigers Foundation.
Here's George Kataris. Ball one inside from the left-hander Downs, who took over in the third. If you tuned in late, Max Scherzer had to leave after 2 innings with shoulder fatigue, and he is scheduled to have an MRI tonight to check that out. Here's the 1-0. Fouled straight back, 1-1. Kataris struck out against Max in the second. In the 17 games he's played with the Athletics since coming over from Milwaukee, he's knocked in 16 runs. Ball low, 2-1. When you look at this Athletics team and you're wondering how they are doing it, we've talked about the fact they've had some stellar pitching, but this is a team that lost 9 straight games in the month of May, and since then has been on fire. There's a strike call. They are 62-32 since losing 9 straight in May.
That's one of the reasons why Bob Melvin's in that conversation for manager of the year this year.
It's going to be tough to pick that award as well. Bouncing ball right side, going to find a hole, base hit. Donaldson will hold his second base, and the Athletics now have 2 on with nobody out. Big month of July certainly helped things out for the Athletics. They were 19-5 in July. August wasn't too bad either. Here's Cliff Pennington. Popped up foul, back out of play. A's have done a lot of this with 4 rookies in the rotation. Of course, they lost Brandon McCarthy, who was hit on that line drive by Ivar, and then had to have surgery as Luke Pekonen warms up. And they lost Bartolo Colon. Here's the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The only non-rookie in the rotation is Brett Anderson, and he just came back from Tommy John surgery.
Chris Carter has moved to the on-deck circle. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball to third. Cabrera has it. He'll fire to second, one, relay to first. Safe.
Too many times this year, the Tigers have gotten themselves in a situation where they get a ball hit sharply, the double plays in order, and they are not able to turn it.
That extra beat by Cabrera cost him.
I think the base runner might have thrown him off a little bit there.
So Chris Carter now will pinch hit. Runners at first and third for the Athletics. And it's ball one low. Carter for Crisp, who was 0 for 2 before departing.
He's got pink eye.
Crisp?
Yep. Otherwise, I don't think he would pitch hit for Crisp.
The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes.
This young man's got a lot of pop in his bat. 14 homers. 35 RBIs. He only has 48 hits. 14 have left the building.
In their dugout, they have Coco cornered. Beware of pink eye. Only Coco can sit there, apparently. That's low. 3-0 now on Carter.
Well, they're going to have to get him a corner in the clubhouse now.
Carter has been struggling, just 4 for his last 28, but as you mentioned, he has some pop. 14 homers. Smith waiting on deck. Here's the 3-0. He's swinging on 3-0 and he rolls it foul.
It's a 90-mile-per-hour fastball down in the zone. And Carter wasn't really trying to hit a single, although that was not a really good 3-0 swing.
Here's the 3-1. Rolls that one foul. 3-2.
That is something that Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder have not done one time between them this year. And that's swing at a 3-0 pitch. Not one 3-0 swing by Prince nor Miggy this season.
Slow tap right back to the mound. They'll throw to second, one, relay to first. Got him at first base.
Oh, thank you very much.
Man, that looked awkward. But they turn it. And the double play gets Downs out of trouble.
Turning 2 over, and it was a result of a couple of really tough losses. There were some close plays at first base, but the fact of the matter is, when you do get that double play ball, a team the caliber of the Tigers, you have to turn it over. But credit needs to be given to Downs, because Downs, in a very tricky looking play, was able to complete a double play, getting the ball to Peralta, and Peralta jumping over the base runner, getting enough on the throw and turning it over. Nice pick by Prince on the other end.
And the Tigers get 2 shots at a double play, and they turn the second one, and so it stays a 3-1 ball game as Dirks leads it off in the bottom of the 4th inning. And the Tigers have gotten a run in each of the first 3. Dirks, Peralta, and Fonte. Line drive to center, and that's going to be caught by Reddick. So he has some defensive changes, but Crisp coming out of the game. Reddick is your new center fielder. Carter now has moved to first. And Moss has moved to right field, so the new configuration for the Athletics. Big bender that drops in for a strike. And Johnny Peralta. Home run back in the second to the opposite field. Down goes the catcher, Gutaris. He was nipped on that foul ball. 1-2 the count. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He went fishing. Time now for the AT&T trivia question tonight. Let's see what we have this evening. What was Ty Cobb's batting average when he won the Triple Crown back in 1909?
Hello.
Last Tiger to win the Triple Crown, 1909. What was his average that year? Here's Infante. Ball high. 2 balls, no strikes. Omar batting with 2 outs. He flied out back in the second. A.J. Griffin was a 13th round pick back in 2010. There's the strike call. 3-1. And he walked him, so Infante will get a 2-out base on balls.
That's rare for Griffin. He doesn't walk many.
And he'll face the number 9 hitter, Gerald Laird.
Only his 12th free pass of the season in the big leagues.
G Money had an infield hit back in the second inning, legging it out. Batting average of 270 this year. The big bender drops inside. 1-0. One ball, one strike. Talking about Griffin being a 13th round pick. He pitched at San Diego, and in his college days Brian Mattis was on the same staff as he was. Mattis was the number 1 pick of the Orioles, and Griffin was his closer in college. Big swing there on the hook. 1-2.
The San Diego State?
Yeah, what'd I say?
No, you said San Diego.
Oh.
So he played for Tony Gwynn then?
No. He went to San Diego. Let me triple check that. That missed outside. Where'd Mattis go?
I'm not sure. I'm just trying to look for that Quentin Berry tie, that's all.
Okay. There's a ground ball foul. University of San Diego.
University of San Diego.
I was right the first time. So no Quentin Berry tie, I'm sorry. There's Jackson waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2, and it's fouled off.
Laird getting a steady diet of those 68 to 69 mile-per-hour breaking balls from Griffin.
Guitars dropping down the signs and a quick toss back. Tigers tonight 3 runs 5 hits. Athletics a run on 4 hits, but the A's have stranded 6. Part of the story here tonight. And the 2-2 line to center field, base hit. Gerald Laird 2 for 2 tonight. 2 on 2 out. That's going to bring up the top of the order, Jackson.
After all those slow breaking balls, Griffin comes back with a slider. Looked like it might have been 3-4 inches off the plate outside, but with 2 strikes, Gerald just trying to put it in play, which he did, and found a nice soft landing spot in center field in front of Josh Reddick.
So the Tigers, who have scored in every inning so far, trying to put one up here in the 4th inning as well. Jackson, an infield hitting a pop-up. In for strike 1 on the breaking ball. Austin batting .305. Leads the American League with 10 triples. One ball, 1 strike.
It's a rare fastball by Griffin. Of the 81 total pitches he's thrown, 60% of them have been breaking balls.
Swing and a miss. There's another one.
Yep.
Infante and Laird aboard here with 2 outs. Game 1 in this series against the Athletics. In the air to right field, hit well. Moss on the run. He'll get to the warning track to end the inning. No runs, a hit, a walk. 2 left. On to the 5th we go.
Won Tigers over the A's. Jim Leyland making it known before the game today when he was talking to the media that it is not time to fret. He is not going in panic mode. Of course, citing the St. Louis Cardinals last year, 3.5 games back out of the wild card with 10 games to go. Went on to win the World Series. You see the other examples here. He says, of course, the Tigers, they just need to win games. It starts with tonight. They're hoping to keep it going on this home trip, you guys, homestand, you guys. But Jim said the only excuse, there is none. You just need to win games.
No doubt. He's absolutely right. Tigers do play their best baseball right here at Comerica Park. And if they could have a really nice last 16 games of the year, who knows what can happen.
Well, Downs is still out there. He took over in the 3rd, got a double play ball in the 4th when the Athletics were threatening. And now here we go to the 5th. 3 runs, 6 hits for Detroit, a run on 4 hits for the A's. Seth Smith will lead it off. And he looks at ball 1 outside. Scherzer left with fatigue in his right shoulder, having an MRI tonight. Here's the 1-0. Bouncing ball right side, right at Prince. Took a funny hop, but he'll stay with it. Smith is out, one gone. Here's Reddick. 1 for 1, single and a walk. He's also scored the only A's run so far. That came back in the first.
And more than likely, this will be the last batter that Downs sees here tonight with the talented Cespedes in the on-deck circle. It's the 39th pitch that Downs has thrown.
Villarreal warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Reddick hits it high in the air into right field. Andy Dirks started back, coming in. 2 gone. We'll see if Cespedes will face Villarreal. It appears that'll be the case. Here comes the skipper.
Great work done by Darren Downs here today.
Certainly didn't expect to get into this game in the 3rd inning, and he did great work. So pitching change here at the ballpark. We'll be back. Inning with 2 out and nobody on. And we remind you to vote for your Tigers McDonald's Player of the Game, presented by the Daily Double Burger at McDonald's for only $1.99. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number to 37338. Or if you'd like, vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. New pitcher now is Brian Villarreal.
He's got that electric fastball, as most Tigers fans have witnessed all season long. 61 strikeouts for Villarreal in just 50 1/3 innings pitched. A 2.32 ERA, and the opponent's hitting 194 against Brian.
So Yoenis Cespedes will stand in to face him. Cespedes with a walk and a pop-up. Villarreal facing, or replacing Downs, I should say. Downs came out in the 3rd and gave his manager 2 2/3 of scoreless relief. Cespedes takes a hack at the first pitch and fouls it straight back. Well, KC now has an early lead on Chicago, 2-1. Billy Butler with a 2-run single.
Big bad Billy Butler.
We are Royals fans tonight. Billy's done enough damage against the Tigers. About time he does some against some other teams to help Detroit out.
That's right.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Missed it inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim Leyland forced to piece this one together out of his bullpen. He got Downs to come on, and now he's got Villarreal. Only in the 5th inning tonight. The 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, fasten your seatbelt here. If Villarreal decides to throw one of those 97, 98 mile-per-hour fastballs to Cespedes, no doubt he will leave his shoes.
Missed inside, 3-1. Brandon Moss waiting on deck. Only 4 hits tonight for the A's. And they got a couple of them in the 1st inning to drive in their only run. The 3-1. Way inside, ball 4. Cespedes will get the walk. 2 out, base on balls. Tiger pitching tonight has 4 walks and a hit batter. And Laird walks out to the mound to have a chat with Villarreal as Moss digs in. He singled in a run in the 1st inning. Cespedes with 16 stolen bases. There's a strike call. One ball, 1 strike. Moss called up from Sacramento in June. He hit 15 homers at the minor league level and 18 more here in the big leagues. He's been with a couple of different organizations, including Boston and Pittsburgh and the Phillies as well. And the 1-1. Broken bat. Little looper, center field. It's going to drop. Base hit. Cespedes racing to 3rd base, throw to 2nd, and he is safe at 2nd base. Prince Fielder went over to the bag to cover. Second and 3rd for the Athletics.
Just goes to show you always have some place to be when the ball's put in play. With Infante and both Peralta and shallow center fielder, once the batter got around 1st base, Prince Fielder, he challenged him and he chased him to 2nd base, and they almost got themselves an out there.
Prince just could not hang on to the baseball. Now the tying runs in scoring position. And Stephen Drew, they've ruled that a double. Drew was up there in his last at bat with runners at 1st and 3rd and struck out. That at bat was against the lefty Darren Downs. One ball to no strikes on Drew, who has fanned twice in this game. Phil Koch is up in the Detroit bullpen. Piece by piece, the Tigers will try and get through this game after Scherzer left following 2 innings. Here's the 1-0. Fouled back out of play. 1-1 on Drew. A's tonight just 1 for 5 with men in scoring position. This rally starting with a 2-out walk. Did you see Cespedes go from 1st to 3rd on that play?
I did. I sure did.
Ken Motor
has a lot of skills.
Low. Ball 2. Drew last year suffering a broken ankle, which put him on the disabled list. Missed 73 games this year.
I think the Tigers may have had more interest in Cespedes had they not signed Prince Fielder.
Makes sense. A lot of teams with major interest in Cespedes. Here's the 2-1. It's low. 3 balls, 1 strike.
I know David Dabrowski flew down to the Dominican Republic this offseason along with several other front office personnel, scouts, to watch Cespedes work out. And they were all very, very impressed with his talent. Willie Horton told me he was the best from a talent standpoint in the show that he put on in batting practice and running. Willie Horton told me he had never seen anything like it. And Muldigger's been around a long time.
That he has.
Not calling you old, Willie, but.
Yeah, he is, Willie. He says he's been around.
Muldigger. No, he's tuned in.
Laird out there to have a chat with Villarreal now, who's behind 3-1. And Brian has already walked a batter.
Well, he's thrown 12 pitches. Only 4 have hit the strike zone.
Again, 6 men already left on base tonight for the Athletics, so they've had their chances for the most part. The Tigers have been able to shut them down when it counts. But now it's 3-1 on Drew. And he popped him up. Shallow left center field. Jackson cruising over. And they'll add 2 more to the left on base column. Tigers baseball tonight. Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. On September the 18th, 1984, the Tigers clinched the American League East. They led the division from start to finish, beating the Brewers 3-0 to clinch the East on this date. Randy O'Neal, 7 shutout innings. Guillermo Hernandez, 30th save, jumping up and down. 1984 with a magical season, and of course Tommy Brookins was there. And Brookie also hit a home run in that game. Here's a one-hopper hit to the second baseman. And Quentin Berry is out. Rookie, of course, was scooping him up at third base.
He was a favorite of Sparky Anderson's for sure.
One out here in the bottom of the 5th, and now Miguel Cabrera standing in. Griffin's still out there. He threw a shutout 4th inning, the first time the Tigers didn't get a run against him. They got 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. And Cabrera has knocked in 2 of the Tigers' 3 runs. Got 125 driven in. That sails low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera now leads the league in hitting and RBIs. Hamilton has 42 homers to lead the league, so Triple Crown is awfully difficult, but he's in range.
Here's the home run he hit back in the third inning on one of those real slow breaking balls at about 68 miles an hour. No stride, just lifted the heel off the ground, and he did it all by himself.
And he drives this one to right center field. That'll get down and go to the wall. Extra bases for Cabrera, and he is in with a double.
It really doesn't matter what Griffin has thrown up here today to Miguel Cabrera, nor does it really matter which pitcher he's going up against. He gets out in front of one and laces it into the gap in right center field, and here's some of those numbers that you were just talking about where he ranks as far as winning a Triple Crown.
Well, the 39 home runs is a career high for Cabrera, so he is just a few behind Hamilton. Otherwise, he'd be leading in every category. One out double, his second hit of this game. Prince Fielder standing in. 0 for 2 in this contest. And Prince looks at a strike.
They got to get Prince hot again. He had a slow road trip. He is still batting .304. He is trying to accomplish something that he has not been able to do in his major league career, and that's hit above 300.
And 2. Pop up and a ground out for Prince as they get on the telephone now. In contact with the Oakland bullpen. Griffin is heading toward 100 pitches. Prince thought about it, laid off 1-2.
I know we talk about Miguel winning an MVP and Trout winning an MVP. We're not many people talking about Josh Hamilton. Any reason why, you think?
It's a good point. I don't know.
I mean, they're leading their division. He's got a lot of RBIs, homers.
You know, he got off to that electric start the first 2 months of the year. Then he kind of plateaued a little bit, and I think he got off a lot of people's radar. Meanwhile, Cabrera has been picking up steam. Trout has picked up steam, but yeah, Hamilton's numbers are right there.
Great point. I mean, everybody talks about like it's a 2-horse race between Miggy and Trout.
Here's the 1-2. Driven to right field, hit well. That ball is gone, a home run. You wanted him to get going, and there you go. It's a 2-run shot for the Prince. .27 on the year for Fielder. That was a laser.
He has now reached the century mark in RBIs as well, along with Miguel Cabrera, who greets him at home plate.
Two-run shot. 5-1. Big breaking ball, big swing and a miss. Big smile on Prince's face.
Griffin's seen a lot of real good hitters in the American League, but he has never faced hitters like Cabrera, hitters like Prince Fielder.
And the numbers are indicating that tonight. The highest total of earned runs that he'd given up in any big league start this year was 3. We'll go down the right field line. That thing is slicing, and it's foul. Cabrera 125 driven in. The Prince has reached 100. 10th time since 1961 that 2 or more Tigers have done it in the same year. We kind of figured going into the season that those 2 guys would reach that plateau, and they certainly have.
Well, you can write that down at the beginning of the year if they stay healthy. You can write down 30 for each guy and 100 stakes.
Grounded to third. Donaldson has it. 2 gone.
And had it not been for the willingness of Miguel Cabrera to move to the other side of the diamond, There would be no Prince Fielder in a Tigers uniform. And when they get V-Mart back next year, they might have 3 guys with 100 ribbons.
Could be. Meanwhile, Griffin has reached 100 pitches, and he will head back to the clubhouse. So we have a pitching change. We step aside. Tigers have extended the lead. His batting average when he won the batting Triple Crown in 1909. And if you pulled 377 out of a hat, you're right. 377 to win the Triple Crown. How about only 9 home runs to get it done that year? A much different era of baseball. And he knocked in 107. And Cobb that year also led the league with 116 runs scored. Cyrus Raymond, great player. Here's another great player, Miguel Cabrera, who just continues to get it done. His double set up the home run by Fielder, and the Tigers with a much more comfortable lead now at 5-1.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame as well one day.
Pedro Figueroa is the new pitcher for the Athletics.
He's all over the place. I do know that much. 14 walks in 17 2/3 innings. He has 8 strikeouts, but he doesn't give up many hits. They're only hitting 179 against him.
And Dirks looks at ball 1. One and 1 on Dirks. Strikeout, lined out to center field. He's 0 for 2. Griffin out after 100 pitches, gives way to Figueroa. Checked it. The appeal. He went. 1 and 2. Figueroa recalled from Sacramento on August the 31st. And for the first time, Griffin bumming. He's given up 5 runs. Came in 6-0. Bouncing ball first base side, foul. Well, his first 11 major league starts, gave up 14. Tonight, 5. That'll elevate his numbers a little bit. The 1-2 is swung out and missed. Dirks is thrown out to complete the strikeout. And the inning is over. However, the big boys doing their thing again. Cabrera shoots a double to the gap. Fielder hits a laser over the wall in right.
Today he had to leave with right shoulder stiffness, and Darren Downs came out of that Tigers bullpen and he was magnificent. 2 2/3 of scoreless baseball. He only gave up 2 hits, and he did exactly what Jim was hoping that he would do. He would slow down some of the left-handed bats that Bob Melvin had started against Scherzer.
Well, Darren lowering his ERA now to 1.93 as a Detroit Tiger. Outstanding work as we go to the 6th inning. It's 5-1 Detroit. Bottom 3 leading it off. It'll be Donaldson to start things, and he looks at a strike going on. Brian Villarreal came on in the 5th inning, gave up a walk and a double, but got Drew to fly out. Here's the 0-1. Down the right field line, slicing. 0-2. Donaldson hit by a pitch back in the 4th. He's 0 for 1 otherwise. 3rd stint with a big club this year. Good numbers at AAA. Sacramento was batting .335. And Villarreal slings it high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 98 on the gun from Brian. Villarreal came into this game having whiffed 58 in his previous 47 innings. Swing and a miss.
Add another one.
1 out here in the 6th.
He went from 98 with the cheddar upstairs, and he came back with a breaking ball. It's a hittable breaking ball, but he left it right over the heart of the plate, and Donaldson swung right through it.
Jim Leyland coming out. Phil Koch coming in, and the Tigers go back to the pen. We take a break. Koch is on now, the new Detroit pitcher.
Phil Koch has pitched good lately, and one of the things that Jim has done very well with Koch, he has used him in situations for him to be successful. He really hasn't pitched that much. He comes in, he pitches a third of an inning, maybe 2/3 of an inning, and the numbers aren't where they should be for Phil, but they're going down.
First pitch is skied in the air to shallow left. Berry coming in. Gutierrez is out.
And Phil Koch has a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. He's got a really good breaking ball to the left-handers when he's able to bury that pitch down and away from them. And an occasional changeup to the right-handed hitters to keep them off balance.
Here's Pennington. Coke's ERA has been over a run higher in the second half, but Jim Leland saying before the game today he's pleased with his last couple of outings. And it's a strike called on Cliff Pennington.
Yeah, Coke went through a stretch there, and all big league players go through it where you're a little lacking a little confidence. And because of that, not as efficient in throwing strikes, falling behind. And he got hit around a little bit there for about a month.
Ground ball to short. Peralta 2 steps to his right. Coke does the job, gets a couple of outs in a 1-2-3 6th inning. By Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price period. Bell Tire. And by Toyota, brought to you by your Greater Detroit Toyota dealers. Tigers coming back home to start a 10-game homestand back here at Comerica Park, downtown Detroit. Mario and Bemba, Rod Allen. We are ecstatic to have you with us here tonight. Brady Klima is our producer. Brian Moss, our director from the ballpark this evening. And we have a new pitcher now for the Athletics. It'll be Evan Scribner.
Everybody that they bring out of that bullpen for the most part had some pretty good numbers. 2.55 ERA for Scribner. 24 2/3 innings pitched so far this year. He's only walked 5, and he has struck out 21, so you know he's going to be around the plate.
So Scribner will face Johnny Peralta. Peralta had a homer back in the second the other way against the starter Griffin. And that was Johnny's 12th of the year. It snapped an 0 for 11 after he hit just 152 on the road trip. 2 balls, no strikes. Evan Scribner is 27 years old, out of New Milford, Connecticut. And the 2-0. 2-1.
That lack of production at the plate for Peralta on the road trip not hurting his defense at all. He's gone 74 straight games without making an error at that shortstop position.
It's pulled down the left field line, heading back toward the seats, and out of play.
He is about as steady as they come at that position, and when he's doing this, he's at his best. Little fastball inside. He pulls his hands in nicely, barrels it up, and it carries out of here to right field.
5 errors all year at that position. And the 2-2 He's fouled straight back.
A lot of people like to make the excuse, well, he doesn't have a whole lot of range. Well, he might not. There are a lot of guys in the big leagues that don't have good range, but I'll take that guy that catches everything and throws accurately to the bases, plays the game the right way with a good attitude.
Nubbed foul off the end of the bat.
He can play for me.
Athletics have stranded 8 in this ballgame tonight. Part of the story, the Tigers have taken advantage of their chances. They lead 5-1. Omar Infante waiting on deck. Fill it now 3-2 on Peralta. Scribner pitched in San Diego part of last year, just 10 appearances in the major leagues, had an ERA of over 7. The rest of his time in the minor leagues. And it's fouled off. Griffin started, and Figueroa, now Scribner. Tigers have had to go to the bullpen early in this game tonight, and he walked it. Leadoff man is on. Time now for the Ace Hardware Scott's fan poll question of the game. Here it is. Which of these 4 American League teams is the biggest surprise this year? Is it A, Oakland, B, Baltimore, C, the Angels for what was expected of them, and D, Boston likewise what was expected of them? Text ACE, then a space, then A, B, C, or D to 37338.
I can't decide whether it's A or B.
I would narrow it down to those 2 as well. Pretty tough because Baltimore has done it in the East. They are going tooth and nail with the New York Yankees. But what the Athletics have done,
they play in a pretty good division too.
They do. And their payroll certainly is not one which affords them the opportunity of big time name players in their lineup.
You know, you were talking about Jim and having to dip into that bullpen quite often here tonight against Oakland. And one reason he knows he's got his ace going tomorrow in Verlander, and Verlander will usually give you 7, maybe 8. And tomorrow would be a good pitching matchup with Brett Anderson going for the Oakland Athletics as Infante and Gene Lamont talk here. I don't know if Infante missed the bunt sign or what.
Leadoff man on here in the 6th. Tigers are leading it by 4. He must have. And he missed the bunt. Now it's 0-2. So that'll be taken out of the equation, you would think. Bouncing ball right side. Carter flips it to second, one, relay to first, throw it away. Infante headed to second base, and he'll get there.
As good as a bunt.
So put a runner in second with 1 out.
Good feed by Carter, first baseman. Good firm throw to Drew, the shortstop. And Drew just does not complete it.
It's going to bring up Gerald Laird with a chance to drive in a run. Infield single in the 2nd inning and a single in the 4th. And he looks at ball 1 high. Fielder's choice E6 charged the shortstop Drew with an error on that throw. First error of the night for either ball club. That's in for a strike. And a ball outside.
Looked like on that last pitch, Omar Infante was entertaining the thought of stealing third base. Took a couple hard steps toward third, and then he stopped. And then it appeared that he was wishing that he had just kept going.
Well, 2-1 the count. See what Omar does here. He's holding now, and it's a ball outside, 3-1. Tigers 1 for 2 with men in scoring position. They do have a sacrifice fly, though, from Cabrera.
That is something the Tigers don't do a whole lot of. Well, they really don't steal a lot of bases anyway, other than when Quentin Berry's playing. But they don't steal third base very often as a team.
You know, for as many games as the Athletics have won, and we've talked about their pitching and how it's been such a key, you would think that their defense would also be outstanding, but that's their 96th error, which puts them in the bottom third of the league. Bender missing inside, and that's ball 4.
Don't forget to join us again tomorrow night for more baseball as the Tigers host the Oakland A's. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live. That's Tigers baseball tomorrow at 6:30 here on Fox Sports Detroit. And we told you the ace, Justin Verlander, will be going against Brett Anderson, who has pitched well since he has come back off the disabled list.
Good matchup indeed. Look forward to it. Game 2 in this series. Ball high. Jackson infield hit, run scored. That was back in the first. 1 for 3 tonight. Ground ball fair inside the bag at third. Infante rounding, he'll score. Laird on his way to third base. They'll stop him there. Jackson double RBI.
That's real good observation there by Austin Jackson, who watched the previous right-handers when they were in the batter's box, and Scribner was throwing a lot of breaking balls. Jackson went up there, he sat on one, it was hanging, and it got down to the bottom of the zone. He tracked it all the way down and laced it right past the diving Donaldson.
6-1 ball game. And now the infield coming in for the Athletics. Second and third, one out. Jackson gets his 61st RBI. Hitting .300 with men in scoring position this year. Strike one on the outer edge to Quentin Berry. Berry a 1 for 3. Balled inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's the 9th Tigers hit in this game.
If you're Gerald Laird, anytime you're on third base and Quentin is standing in that batter's box, you have to be alert of the fact that with 1 out, he might try to bunt. It would not be a suicide squeeze. It would be a safety squeeze. If he gets it down, you have to score.
Pulled down the right field line. Fair ball. It'll go to the corner and get 2 runs in. Berry motoring to second. He'll slide in with a double. Second hit of the night for Quentin.
Well, Jim was hoping to create a little excitement in his lineup today with Jackson and Quentin Berry at the top of the batting order, and boy, have they created some exciting. It's a good swing here by Q. Look, breaking ball doesn't do a whole lot with his lower body, and got himself in a good position to put a good swing on it. It was fair by about 3 or 4 inches.
That'll extend the lead to 8-1. And the Tigers tonight now 3 for 4 with men in scoring position. 7-run lead. Berry having a good night. Ten Tigers hits on the board. And more action. Jesse Chavez warming up in the A's bullpen. Strike one to Miguel Cabrera. Homer and a double tonight for Cabrera. .333 batting average to lead the American League. No balls, 2 strikes.
And both Cabrera and Fielder have already homered in this game. If you're just joining us, the 7th time they've done that this year.
The 0-2. That'll get fouled down the right field line. Cabrera's double in the 5th inning was to the gap in right center. His homer in the 3rd inning was into the seats in left. And Miguel will pepper the entire ballpark. Scribner now has thrown 25 pitches. Still only 1 out. Here's a drive to right field. Moss coming in to make the play. 2 gone. Now Prince Fielder. 2-run shot back in the 5th. Ball 1 high. A's pitching staff came in with a 3.41 earned run average this year. Only Tampa had a better ERA. But the Tigers have rolled up 8 runs on 10 hits. And seemingly, for whatever reason, when we've said this all season long, they are a different team here at home. Tigers have a chance to go to 44-28 in their home ballpark with a win here tonight. That's it for a strike. 2-1 on Prince. Scribner not giving in despite falling behind in the count.
He's got a base open. If the game was closer, Bob Melvin wouldn't even be pitching to Prince Fielder.
Make it 2-2.
Third managerial stop for Bob Melvin. Seattle, Arizona, now Oakland.
Way outside. 3-2. Delman waiting on deck. Fielder, the 7th man to bat in the inning. And he takes a walk. It's not been a good inning for Scribner. "32 pitches as Melvin looks over his lineup card. Here's Delman. 3 walks in the inning for Scribner. And Delman takes high, 1-0. Tigers tonight have scored in every inning except the 4th. This has been their biggest inning, a 3-run frame. Slice to second base. Tough hop for Pennington. Stayed with it nicely. Tigers add 3 more. We go to the 7th, 8-1.
tomorrow. It's the My Favorite Things auction that we're going to have during the Fox Sports Detroit broadcast. And basically what it is the Tigers' wives and girlfriends have put together baskets of the players' favorite things, everything from memorabilia to some of their favorite snacks, some of their favorite media that they like to use, restaurants, that kind of stuff. It's going to be an auction. Some of the baskets are going to be combined, and of course the proceeds are going to go to the Detroit Tigers Foundation. Mario and Rod, you guys also have favorite thing baskets that are going to be all put in this, and the people can go online and bid on that. I want to know, what is your favorite thing of your favorite things in your basket?
Well, I would go with the stop that I make every day down here to the ballpark, and that would be the Starbucks gift certificates.
Ooh. Rod?
That's pretty good. I have one of those in mind as well, but I'm going to go with the 2 tickets that I'm going to give away to opening day next year. I'm going to bless somebody with a couple of tickets because it's very difficult ticket to get here opening day at Comerica Park. So I'm going to bless somebody with that.
Well, I just want to show you one of my favorite things, because when they were asking in the office, if you know me, it's distinctive. I have these crazy cell phone cases. I change them out, kind of like a purse. So that'll probably be in my basket for tomorrow. It'll be all together, and the wives will be really excited and talking about that on our pregame show as well. But if you're interested in any of the auction items, you can go on the Tigers webpage and look at some of the details for what is in those auction items. Mario and Rod?
Hey, Shannon, if you have a pink one of those things, Rod would like.
I have a pink one. I have a polka dot one. I can bring all my extras, Rod. I feel like we could have one for all of your ties.
I'll rock it.
He will not. He's just saying that. Bring it up anyway.
I'm not afraid of pink.
No, he's not. Real men wear pink. It's okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon. We look forward to that tomorrow night. That'll be fun. Chris Carter leading it off, and he waves and misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Carter.
There's that change piece that Phil Koch has been featuring to some of the right-handed batters the last few times he's gone out there, and it's been a really nice pitch for him. So nice, they're going to go right back to it.
Here's the 2-2 outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Carter came on as a replacement and a pinch hitter for Coco Crisp, who had to leave the game with what they termed as complications to an existing eye infection. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it's pulled foul outside of the bag at third. They battle for it. Phil Koch replacing Villarreal. Downs has pitched in this game. Of course, Max Scherzer started, went 2 innings and left with shoulder fatigue. We'll keep our eye on that situation. He'll have an MRI tonight. 3-2, a strike 3 call. Carter punched out of there. See you later. 1 gone. Well, the Subway Sub Prize on the line is the Central Division standings, and as of right now, as we play here tonight, Chicago a 3-game lead over Detroit. But the Tigers are winning here. Chicago is losing, or at last check they were, and we'll have an update on that game soon.
They're tied now, 2-2.
Oh, there's your update. Apparently Mr. Beckham hit a home run.
He hit a couple of home runs against the Tigers.
He's got that sneaky power, that Beckham.
He does. He has a nice little quick bat.
No balls, 1 strike on Seth Smith.
Of course, they have a lot of guys that hit big flies, though, in that Chicago White Sox batting order.
1-1 the count.
And some of these Oakland A's, they have 171 home runs on the season, but today they've been kept in the yard.
Their only run came in the first on a single by Brandon Moss with 2 outs, driving in a run. That's been it. Popped him up left side of the infield. Johnny drifting to the grass. 2 gone. How about this bullpen tonight, Rod?
It's been good. Every single guy that has trotted out of that bullpen has done his job. Whether it be Darren Downs, who pitched 2 2/3 of brilliant relief after Max Scherzer had to leave the game after 2 innings. Villarreal, he's done good work all season. And Phil Koch, his last 5 outings, I should say, have been pretty good.
Well, if you're a guy that doesn't pitch typically in the back end of a game with Scherzer starting, you figure you probably have the night off, or there's a good chance you're not going to pitch on that night because Max goes deep into games and dominates. But they've had to answer the bell tonight. There will be that same feeling tomorrow with Verlander on the hill. Josh Reddick a single and a walk plus a run scored. Lifting that one toward left. Berry on the run, still coming hard, and he dives, and he can't hold on to it.
Great effort, though.
Reddick will dive into second with a double, and Quinton stretched out for it, and he looks like he may be hurt.
Shoulder.
Kevin Rand comes running out of the Detroit dugout. Quinton Berry is hurt in left.
Great effort.
About as close as you can get without making the play. Berry was able to get that ball in, but he's in some pretty good pain right now. He's coming out of the game. They're going to want Dirks to go to left. Abisail Garcia will come in as well.
That's why you see so many guys in the outfield these days. They don't dive for balls like that. They go feet first because everybody, and I don't know exactly what's going on with the shoulder, but there's always that chance that you could pop your shoulder out of socket by diving that way. Don't forget, fans, you can follow the Tigers with the MLB.com at Bat12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. You can get live audio pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Tigers.com for details. Tigers players dropping like flies, man.
Aren't they, though? Scherzer left early. Avila not able to play tonight, not medically cleared to play. Berry's out of the game. And the skipper pencils in Garcia in the 2 spot. And he'll take over in right with Dirks going to left. We'll bring up Cespedes. Reddick with a 2-out double. Only the 6th hit of the night for the Athletics. Ball 1 to Cespedes. A couple of walks for Yoenis tonight. Played for 8 seasons in Cuba. His final season before coming to the States last year, he knocked in 99 runs, hit 33 homers.
If you weren't with us earlier, I told you that Cespedes, when playing in Cuba, they only had 90-game schedules, and they had a couple of days off a week. So the major league schedule is much more grueling, and Cespedes is learning that. But Bob Melvin, he can't get him out of his lineup. There are 35 games over 500 in games when Cespedes starts.
Swing and a miss. Had a healthy cut there. Well, you got a lot of seconds on that list, and we know who's first. Mike Trout. Runs, homers, RBIs, extra base hits, total bases. He does lead rookies in assists, outfield assists with 7. Balled inside. 2-1.
He would be in the Rookie of the Year conversation, if not what Superman is doing out in Los Angeles.
It's going to be the biggest runaway vote for Rookie of the Year that we've had in a long time.
It sure is.
Here's the 2-1. 3-1 on Yoenis Cespedes.
There will always be that one guy out there, though, that doesn't vote for him. You know that.
Yeah, there will be. You're right.
There always is.
There's always that contrarian out there. I'm going to be different. I saw Trout strike out in a ball game, so he's not the Rookie of the Year. Now the 3-1. Pulled fair inside the bag at third. That'll get a run in.
He's got some bat speed, boy.
Reddick will come around to score, and Cespedes has an RBI single. It's a 2-out run for the Athletics.
Yeah, Miguel had no chance at this one. And Cespedes appeared to fall down as he came out of the batter's box as well. Some interference down there. They're going to give him second base.
Apparently so. Leland wants an explanation.
He should get an explanation. I don't think he would have had a double after he fell down.
Well, let's see the ball down the line here. It didn't look like the fans touched it. Well, there might have been a glancing blow there, but barely. And as we showed you, he fell down out of the box. Now Leland chatting with Paul Emmel down at third. Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire. And here come the other two umpires to join in on the conversation.
Well, maybe somebody else had a better look. What Jim is questioning here is the fact that he doesn't think Cespedes should be on second base. And they're going to make him go back to first. That's a good call.
That's a really good call.
Now Bob Melvin's going to come out of the dugout.
Melvin's argument probably is, how can the closest umpire to the play make a call and now you overturn it?
Well, Cespedes wasn't even running out of the batter's box.
No.
He was jogging. That's Gary Darling right there. He is the second base umpire today, who sent Cespedes back to first base.
Yeah, there's no disputing the run scored. They're not concerned about that. Here's where Cespedes was when the ball came close to the fan.
So it's dead right there, right?
Correct.
When the fan touches the ball, it's dead.
Correct is what they're saying. They touched the ball.
Well, there's no way he gets to second base.
No. So the argument continues. And Melvin a little bit heated. Cespedes sent back to first base.
Ultimately, the job of the umpires is to get the call right, and I believe they got it right.
You will not convince Bob Melvin of that, though.
Chip Hale, the bench coach of Bob Melvin there.
So it's an 8-2 ball game. We're in the top of the 7th inning. And a strike call on Brandon Moss. 2-out bloop double by Reddick and a single by Cespedes scores him. Breaking ball had him frozen. Had him ducking out of the way. 0-2. Chavez and Blevins in the bullpen for the Athletics. Foul down the left field line. 0-2 the count. Tigers have scored in every inning tonight except the 4th. They've built an 8-2 lead. And Joaquin Benoit is still warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Here's the 0-2. Got him, strike 3. See you later. Moss is out of there. Koch strikes out a pair. And the A's have to settle for one. Time to stretch. Here is our Comerica game summary tonight. Prince Fielder a 2-run homer, which has got him to the 100 RBI plateau. Scherzer had to leave the game with shoulder fatigue after 2. And Cabrera, yeah, he's done it again. He's homered his 39th. That's a career high. Andy Dirks flies the first pitch into left. And 1 pitch, 1 out. Against the new pitcher for the Athletics, they go deeper into their bullpen, Jesse Chavez.
And Chavez pitching in his 12th game. He's won 1 game and he has lost the game. His ERA is over 9. He does have a legitimate strikeout pitch apparently with those 28 strikeouts in 22 2/3 innings against 11 base on balls.
There's a ground ball third base side, deep behind the bag. Donaldson. 2 gone. Hey, just as a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Kind of a cool evening here at the ballpark. Fans all bundled up. Temperature right now in the mid-50s, 55 degrees.
Summer's gone.
Apparently so. What happened to it?
Bye-bye.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Infante taking, and it's 1-1. Omar reaching on a fielder's choice, scoring a run in the 6th. Yep, it's been that kind of night. Pull out the blankets. Or your Tigers headgear.
He's wearing that proudly.
Fly ball right field. Moss. And the inning is over. It's a 1-2-3 frame for Chavez as we go to the 8th here at the ballpark. Kids are having fun.
represent the city what city you're in, and when you go out there and don't give it your all, it looks bad. So we decided we want to go out there and play well, and represent ourselves and their city really well. And next thing you know, you play good baseball, and then the little bloops and the line drives and the fine holes, and the other teams start losing, and things just kind of go your way. So I mean, it's just all about playing good baseball.
Well, Jared Laird played for that Cardinals team last year that came out of nowhere late to make the playoffs. Not only that, but win the World Series. So he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, it started out with just one happy flight. That was about a month ago. They wanted to win a game because they were traveling, and they said, let's have a happy flight. And it turned out they had a whole lot of happy flights the remainder of the year, all the way to the World Series.
Here's that graphic we were talking about earlier. The numbers we gave you. The Cardinals were 3.5 back with only 10 games remaining out of the wild card, and they go on to win the World Series. Rays also had a big comeback last year as well with only 5 games left. We have a new pitcher on now for the Tigers. That would be Joaquin Benoit.
And Joaquin Benoit, the 8th inning guy for Jim Leyland. He's used a lot of components to the bullpen. Joaquin normally would not be in a game where there's a 6-run spread, but you've got to win the game.
There's a strike call on Stephen Drew. He's 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts and a fly ball. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count.
Oakland tried very hard at the trade deadline to upgrade at the shortstop position. They looked at Hanley Ramirez. They looked at Marcos Scudero. They looked at Yuniel Escobar. Could not make a deal for either of those guys. They settled on Drew after the trade deadline. Bob Melvin also knows J.D. Drew. Not J.D. Drew, but Stephen Drew. And from his days when he was managing the Arizona Diamondbacks.
All we're missing is Nancy Drew.
J.D. is the brother of Stephen. And Nancy could be a distant cousin.
2-2 the count. We're gonna have to ask him tomorrow. A distant cousin. 2-2 on Stephen Drew. Got to look at my score sheet now to make sure I get the right name here. Thanks a lot. Here is Benoit's 2-2 pitch. High pop up. Third base side. Will it find the seats? Cabrera is going to have room. Drew is out, 1 gone.
He's done a really nice job at third base this year. He heard all the whispers at the beginning of the season that he could not make the transition from first to third. He has done a very nice job over there and put up MVP type numbers offensively.
Donaldson grounds it to third. Cabby flags it off to his left. Olay.
I see you. I see you, Mickey.
2 up, 2 down.
Not an easy play here. You can't go in. You can't really go back. So you just have to just try to pick it. And that's exactly what he did.
Gutierrez, the batter.
He also has one of the strongest throwing arms from that third base position. I guess Adrian Beltre would have a very strong, accurate arm, but I can't think of too many other guys that have the arm strength of he, and also Brandon Inge had a very strong throwing arm as well. There is one other kid, that kid Machado.
Oh, did you see the play he made last time?
He's got a good arm. A young kid in Baltimore.
Yeah, he has a really good arm. Here's the 2-0. You know, it's one thing to have a really good, strong throwing arm, but it's another thing to be accurate across the diamond. For the most part, Mickey's been really accurate.
He has. I don't think he's made too many errors throwing this year. His errors have come with a glove, not making some plays.
There's a strike. 3-1 on Gutierrez. He's batting here in the 8th with 2 outs. Tigers ahead tonight, 8-2. pull down the right field line. Going to be fair. Going to go to the corner.
Watch this throw.
Garcia digging it up, and an easy 2-base hit. Stand up double for Guitars.
And Garcia didn't let this one go, but he has a lot of arm strength himself. They're calling him Miggy Jr. these days.
I'm real excited to see where he lands after spring training next year, because he's got some tools.
He'll be in shape when he gets to spring training. You know that much, because he's going to play winter ball.
Way out in front, 0-1.
And a lot of times the players that play winter ball, when they get to spring training, they've already had a lot of at-bats. They're in shape. And every now and then they sneak up on some people and make a big league club. He started the season in A-ball.
He did. Hit for power, stole some bases, made it up to Double-A, and got to the big leagues. Tigers thought so much that he could possibly help this team that they put him on the roster on August 31st, so he would be eligible to play on a playoff roster. They feel that he has skills that can help this team. And Leland said that you'll see him against lefties down the stretch for the most part. He didn't want to etch his lineup in stone, but he said, you know, from down the stretch here, every time we see a lefty, expect to see Garcia in the game.
Well, that means he'll get a start tomorrow then.
That he will. In fact, he'll probably get starts the next 2 nights, because Tommy Malone is going on Thursday. That's a day game. Here's the 1-2. Bouncing ball back towards second. Infante surrounds it. And he's out by a step. Nothing comes of a 2-out double. Bottom of the 8th inning in game 1 of this series here against the Oakland Athletics. And today, Roberto Clemente Day, and we've got a flashback of Mr. Clemente. And there weren't too many better in the game, really, as an overall player, Rod. He's a guy that hit over 3,000 career hits, and he could do it in the field, too.
He had a great arm, played both sides of the ball, great humanitarian. What a player, what a guy.
You can talk about everything he's accomplished or did accomplish on the field, but, of course, he died tragically at the age of 38 in a plane crash, delivering supplies to a Nicaraguan earthquake victims, and that's what he's probably going to be most remembered for, and should be. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, Gerald Laird leading it off, and he tried to check his swing, couldn't do it. 1-1. Laird, then Jackson, then Garcia. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball back up the middle. How about Laird?
Stop it, G-Money.
Third hit of the night He also has a walk.
I'd smile too.
It'll bring up Jackson. AJ had an RBI double in the 6th. He also has a single. He has scored 2 more runs tonight, which gives him 94 for the season. And here's to hoping he gets to 100 and beyond. No balls, 2 strikes. Alex Avila looking on tonight. He was not cleared medically to play this game this evening. Of course, he ran into Prince Fielder's elbow a couple of days ago. There's a bouncer that's through. Out of the reach of Stephen Drew, and to second base will go Laird.
Talking about this earlier, all the foul tips and all the collisions at home plate that we have seen Avila go through the last few days. It took that right elbow of Prince Fielder to knock him out of action. It looked like he knocked him out. Look at him go down. And he has not been the same since.
Nor has he played since. And hopefully a speedy recovery to Alex, who will be cleared to play soon. Here's Garcia. His first at bat, swing and a miss. "12 games this year at the big league level, 300 average." Fouled back out of play. Of course, Ray's in the booth here on the Oakland side of things, doing Oakland broadcasting in the TV booth. And of course, he took a very famous blow at home plate
in an all-star game.
In an all-star game against Pete Rose. Ray's a good man.
Great man. He's been doing A's baseball for a long time.
The 0-2. Tigers hits in this game. Garcia waiting on a 1-2. And he lines one to right field, base hit. Laird coming to third. They stop him there. He has shown an ability to go the other way since coming up.
That's a nice adjustment right there. His first couple of swings were big swings, and then with 2 strikes, he kind of cut his swing down, just trying to put the ball in play. It's down. He slices it to right field, but Reddick can throw. And there's no need in forcing the issue by trying to send Gerald Laird home, and because he probably would have been thrown out.
Here's our Jimmy John's leaderboard. RBI leaders in the American League. Cabrera has jumped ahead of Hamilton. Miguel with a couple of RBIs tonight, now 125, and Prince is on that list. And here come the MVP chants.
Well, here's why he gets the MVP chance. Take a look at his at-bats today. In the first, a sac fly. In the third, a big fly. And in the fifth, a double to right center.
What will he have for an encore here in the 8th? He's got him loaded right now with nobody out. Swinging a drive to left field. Way back. That ball is up. And it's gone. A grand slam. It's a grand slam for Cabrera. His second home run of the night.
He may have just put an exclamation point on the MVP award in 2012.
What a beast.
With a capital B.
MVP. Here come the chants. night for Cabrera.
He really doesn't surprise me with anything he does anymore.
I guess not.
First grand slam of the season for the Tigers. The first.
Now that is kind of surprising. Second home run of the night. Third career slam for Cabrera. Prince fouls it back out of play.
3 bloops. One by Laird, one by Jackson, one by Garcia, and a blast by the big fella.
And Chavez missed inside with the fastball. Jeez. Unbelievable.
Talk about a guy not giving away any at-bats.
Exactly.
He just gets greedy.
Oh, Prince is hit again.
He shouldn't like that either. I would.
And right away, Jerry Meals is going to toss him.
Good call.
Here comes Bob Melvin. He can't believe his pitcher was just tossed out of the game. So Prince will come out of this game. Don Kelly will come on to pinch run.
Here's the last 2 pitches of the at-bat. And apparently Jerry Meals felt like the kid was trying to hit Prince.
You take first, you take a shower. 12-2, the Tigers have the lead. Fielder is done for the night. So is Chavez. He's been ejected. And he will make a pitching change now. And Bob Melvin still not happy as he barks at Jerry Meals. We'll be back. On a huge night for Miguel Cabrera. They about hit him 14-8 as well. So the Tigers in good shape here to try to take game 1. Game 2 is coming up tomorrow. And the pitching matchup presented by Gordon Chevrolet. This ought to be a good one, right?
Well, Brett Anderson's good. He's got great stuff. His fastball, mid-90s, nice little breaking balls. Tommy John surgery, so he got a late start this year, but he was one of their better pitchers before that injury. And, of course, you know what Justin Verlander does every 5th day. He comes in 14-8 with a 2.82 ERA and 218 strikeouts. So it should be a fun night at the Yard tomorrow.
Well, the big guys have done their share tonight, haven't they?
Well, first of all, Cabrera, he was in a very hitterish mood today. A big fly to left field. He also doubled into the right center field gap, and then he scored on the big fly by Prince. And then he left the building again, grand slam variety, the first grand slam of the year for the Tigers. And Prince, we talked about him. They need to get him going again because he had a slow road trip, and he got into the act today. He homered. It was in the fifth. And Austin Jackson, he has been on 3 times, and he has scored 3 runs. He has been the ultimate table setter here today. And when those 3 guys get going in the same game, there's a lot of crooked numbers put up on the scoreboard.
As there are tonight. And it's a 12-2 Tigers lead. Got a new pitcher now. That would be Jerry Blevins coming in.
Yeah, Blevins, left-hander, 55 games now he's been in. He's got good numbers, 4 wins, 1 loss. ERA is very good, so he's been right in the middle of what this really good pitching staff has done all year for Oakland. And today, just a blemish on what they really, their overall body of work.
There's still nobody out in this inning. There's a ground ball hit slowly left side of the infield. They'll fire to second, one relay to first. Now there's 2 outs. Blevins comes in, gets the double play ball. Not an easy one to turn. 5-4, 3-2 gone. Tigers have scored in every inning except 2 in this game. We've got some updates on Scherzer, who had an MRI. No structural damage. That's good news. No throwing for a couple of days. Then he'll be reevaluated. That is really good news.
Great news.
Driven to center field. Reddick runs it down, and Blevins calms things down. But a big inning for the Tigers. 4 runs in. Oakland Athletics in a 12-2 ball game. Tigers cruising in this one, and we have a new pitcher now for Detroit. That would be right-hander Luis Marte.
It was Papa Grande that was up when the score was 8-2, but with the grand slam there by Miguel Cabrera, Jim Leland goes to Luis Marte, who hasn't pitched all that much lately.
So Marte done with his warm-up tosses. He'll be facing the top of the lineup. We have some changes. Danny Worth will play third base. Cabrera's out of the game. Don Kelly will stay in the game and play first. Carter leads it off, and then Smith and Reddick. Tigers coming back home, starting the homestand with a bang. 12 runs on 14 hits. Chris Carter looks at strike one. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And it's in there for a strike. 0-2. Got other news on a couple of other Tigers. Quentin Berry had to leave the game, and they say x-rays are negative, a right shoulder contusion, which is good news. So nothing major there for Quentin. Swing and a miss. That didn't take long. Carter is retired.
As soon as the game ends, our coverage will continue with Tigers Live. You will hear from a happy manager tonight. That would be Jim Leland and the players. Plus, we'll break down the game, show you all the highlights. Tigers Live immediately after this game, right here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Lots of smiles on the Tigers bench tonight. Looks like we have a pinch hitter. That would be Jamile Weeks. Strike one on Weeks. .222 average this year for Weeks. Couple of homers. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the air, left center field. Jackson handles this one. So the last chance now coming up for the Athletics, and it's going to be Derek Barton pinch hitting. And he fouls away the first. Barton batting a .198. Same two teams tomorrow. Game 2 in the series. Verlander for the Tigers. Here is Marte's 0-1. 0-2. And now the A's down to the final strike. 31,000 plus in attendance here tonight on a chilly evening in the Motor City. That's in the air. Shallow left field. Dirk's on the run. Ball game.
Great win tonight.
Wasn't it though? After a really tough loss yesterday in Chicago in the makeup game, the Tigers answer with a bang here tonight.
Well, now the Tigers just need Kansas City to beat those White Sox tonight.
There's your final score, 12-2 in favor of the Detroit Tigers. 14 hits in this contest. Back with a whole lot more from the ballpark right after this.